Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Yes She Can project. I can't tell you how excited I am to be joined by the gorgeous Cynthia Green. Hi Cynthia.
Hi, Michelle. You're gorgeous too, by the way.
No, well, we were discussing before I'm looking a bit like a snooker player today, but we're going to let that one slide. So those eagle-eyed viewers might recognize you from recently hugely popular shows, Married at First Sight and Love is Blind on Netflix. But for anybody who hasn't seen you before, would you like to just tell me basically who you are and what you do, please?
Well, my name's Cynthia, and I'm a registrar stroke celebrant and have been for just over 27 years.
Wow.
And that's basically marrying people legally as a
Mhm.
registrar or doing celebrant-led ceremonies like commitment ceremonies, naming ceremonies, and renewal of vows.
Oh, lovely. So I know that you said you've been in the industry for a long while, Cynthia. Can you take me back like to the beginning and how did you get into the role that you have?
So at the time, I had two children. One was really small, and I was doing a degree as well, and I was working in a cake factory at night.
Oh, me.
I know it was ridiculous. I look back and think, wow, how did I do that?
Yeah.
And and yeah, so while I was doing my degree, it was back in the day, where there were job vacancies in the backs of newspapers like the
Yeah.
Independent and things like that.
Mhm.
And I saw Registrar of Births and Marriages, and I thought, oh,
Sounds
sounds
like a bit of me.
yeah, that sounds really interesting. So I applied for it while I was doing my degree. And went through I remember I worked in the cake factory at night, and I got home about 6:30, sorted the kids out, and then went for the interview at 9:30 in the morning. I remember.
Oh.
Again, I don't know how I did that.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I went for the interview, and I thought, oh gosh, I hope, everything's good because I've got dreadlocks, and they were like short and really funky, and I had a big
Mhm.
nose ring in,
Oh,
it's quite
cool.
quite different. And I had this interview with a panel of three, came home, and then at
God.
the end of that day or the next day, they rang me and said your interview was fantastic, and we'd like to offer you the job.
Oh, but
So
that was quick. You must have really impressed them, like for them to
it
get
was
back to
very
you.
quick. He said, the superintendent said, he said it's one of the best interviews he's ever been involved
Oh
in.
my gosh. See, I think
No.
they could probably just feel like that you were going to be good because you could just feel that, like you've got such a positive like aura about you. It's
Oh,
lovely.
thank you. Thank you. That's a lovely thing to say.
Bless. So you moved, I've read a bit about you, Cynthia, and it's clear that you moved like from Bolton to London when you got a job at Lambeth Registry
Yeah.
Office. Like, how did that like, because it's not just like it's round the corner, is it? Like, how did that epic move come about?
So basically, I just my relationship with the children's father came to an end.
Okay.
And then about a year later, I just started thinking, maybe it's the time for a change. And my twin sister already lived in London.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to visit her, try and visit her once a month. So I was a little bit familiar with it.
Yeah.
And I just thought, do you know what? I'm just going to have a look and see if there's any jobs. I'm just going to see if there's anything. And
Oh.
I found the Lambeth job,
Mhm.
applied, um, got an interview. So I went for the day, and had the interview, came back the same day. And then I think again, a day or two later,
Oh my gosh.
they said, oh, your interview was fantastic and we want to offer you the job. And I just started
Oh, bless.
crying because I thought, this is it now, then the ball's rolling.
Mhm. I bet that was so
Um,
difficult though with like uprooting the kids as well. Like
exactly.
it goes far beyond you've got a new job. It's like we have so much more to think about, don't we, when it
Yeah,
comes to
and
that kind of thing.
And you do, yeah. And so I left my son didn't he was 14, which was it's an
Oh,
age
okay.
where it's very
Hmm.
difficult. So he stayed with my mum and dad to
Yeah.
finish school and everything.
Hmm.
But my daughter, who was I think she was 6 at the time, she came with me. And obviously he came in the, holidays and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a little bit difficult at the beginning, and I thought, oh my
Mhm.
God, what have I done?
Oh, and I bet your
But
previous employer were gutted to have let you go as well.
oh, I know, and I was gutted to go as well because
Yeah.
I'm born and bred in Bolton, and so
Mhm.
to have done, I did a lot of registrations for people. Like, I
Yeah.
married my cousin just before I left, and I used to
Oh,
register the deaths of people that I knew and births because that's the
oh,
side of the job that I do as well, births and deaths.
right.
Yeah, I'm involved in that as well. So, it was nice that I could do that for people.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it was hard. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was hard to go, but I just thought, what's the worst that can happen? The wo-
exactly.
You
If you
know,
don't
the
go for things, you'll just never know, will
you'll
you?
just never know. And I just thought the worst that can happen is that I go back.
Yeah.
I'll just go back and then just, and I remember my boss saying, if it doesn't work out, come back and just let me know that you're back. And
Yeah,
I
it'd
thought,
be
what a
like,
lovely,
please.
oh, what a lovely thing to say.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so yeah, so that started my journey in London. And yeah, I was
Wow.
at Lambeth for about 3.5 years.
Hmm.
I was at Bolton for about three, Lambeth for about 3.5, and then now I'm at Islington, and it's 21 years this year.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah,
Cynthia, you touched on obviously registering people's deaths as well. I think that's probably a side of the job that not many people consider in a
yeah,
sense of, you see wedding celebrants and you think it's all,
yeah,
happy and joyous. I bet, especially when you know people, I bet that can be probably like a double-edged sword, really, because nice that you can offer that support and that
yeah.
personalized support if you know them, so you can feel like almost like you're part of their grieving journey, but must be deeply like personal for you and filled with emotion, really.
Oh, it is. I mean, I've done my own parents, Michelle. So
Have
I
you?
registered, yeah, I registered my mum's death,
Oh,
and I registered my dad's as well. Yeah. My
oh,
dad's my dad's was over the phone because it was in COVID.
oh my goodness, I'm
But
sorry.
to be able to, but what an honor though, Michelle, for me to be able to have been able to have done that for my parents, where my
Yeah.
name is on their certificates.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
yeah. So, and when I did my mum's, I registered the death as a registrar, and my twin sister sat opposite the desk and did the registration.
Oh
So
my
it
goodness.
was so beautiful in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I totally, yeah, I feel it so much for people. I
I
do.
bet.
Yeah, I
And
do.
especially I imagine as well, not only your own family, but maybe people and their families that you have witnessed getting married and then something happening to a member of their family. But all
Mm.
testament to you if they're to come back to you and say, look, can you be the one to do this?
Yeah.
Although it's
Well,
full
that
circle, it must be amazing.
exactly. I mean, and regarding the work side of it, with the deathbed marriages, as we
Oh
call them.
gosh, yeah.
I mean, they could, that's so can be so difficult because you're doing the wedding, and
Hmm.
then a week, 2 weeks, 2 months, down the line, that they're
Wow.
contacting the office, and you're doing the death registration as well. But for them, it's so lovely for them because they have a
Familiar
continuum
face.
type thing. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's
Gosh, it's
can be
it's
quite
very it's
emotional.
deep rooted, isn't it, for you? How
Yeah.
do you manage like on a personal level? Is there anything in particular that you have to do, or do you have to? I don't know. I don't know how you do it, to be honest.
Well, I've got a partner that we laugh all the time. See,
Okay.
it's making me laugh now thinking about it. We laugh all the time,
Yeah,
So I think humor, laughter, and yeah, as you said, I smile all the time,
you
Michelle.
do.
I am a smiler.
Hmm.
Got a big smile,
Definitely.
and that yeah, and just trying to dig through the positive when you think the negative is clouding you. Just try and
Hmm.
dig through and find those positive gems because they're always there,
Yeah,
you
bless
know.
you. So when you back to when you got because you actually got thrust into the limelight soon after you moved to the Lambeth office anyway, didn't you? Because you were the registrar for the first live Wedding on the London Eye for
That's it.
GMTV, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. That was absolutely unbelievable.
Is that the first time you've
Honestly.
ever been on telly?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah. That was the first time, and the fact that it was live as well.
Oh my God, the
You know,
stress.
I mean, I didn't actually do the ceremony, conduct it. I was the
Mhm.
registrar who,
Yeah.
guides the couple to sign the marriage register, and so I did that role. But
Mhm.
which is just as intense, if not more so, because you've got
Yeah.
to make sure that everything's correct. It's a very important role.
Mhm.
So,
And
but yeah,
shaking with the pen.
you
Oh,
know.
it's the TV. Oh my God.
live TV. Uh,
Yeah.
but no, it was absolutely, it was brilliant.
Oh.
Honestly, Lorraine, for
Mhm.
the Lorraine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Needs no surname, does she?
it's just Lorraine. She was fantastic. It was so
Oh.
lovely to meet her. And
Mhm.
yeah, the couple were amazing as well, and just couldn't believe that they'd won this competition.
Oh,
But that, to be part of that, was just fantastic,
I bet.
honestly. And then I went on to do so many weddings on there afterwards. I did
Oh.
so many weddings on the London Eye. And that was
Mhm.
when I left Lambeth and went to Islington. That was a bit, yeah, sad because
Sad.
I couldn't do them anymore because you can only do the ceremonies in the venues in your district. You can't
I
kind of,
get you. Okay.
yeah, as a registrar, you can't go out of the district unless you get permission.
Okay. And I
So
bet it's quite a lot of paperwork probably to do something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So that was really sad, but no, that was, some amazing memories and experiences on there.
I bet
Oh
you've got
gosh.
like the most epic photo albums.
I've got so many, honestly, I've got so many photographs. Oh, but
Oh,
it's so lovely to look at them and think, wow,
yeah.
that was 1999 or what,
Yeah.
it's crazy to know that it's that length of time,
Hmm.
really.
Do you remember what was the first wedding that you ever did?
The first wedding was in Bolton, and it was quite a small wedding.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it was quite a small one. Their faces. Sorry, guys, it's 27 years ago, so I can't quite remember what they looked like.
Just blurs.
But I do remember shaking like a leaf.
Oh.
That's what I remember because you're bringing two people together, and it's
Hmm.
weighs so much on your mind that if I don't say it right, I'm asking them to repeat after me. And if they don't understand me properly, or I say something wrong, I have got a funny story, Michelle, I have to tell you, to do with
Go
that.
on.
Oh my gosh. So when I got I hadn't been at Islington long.
Hmm.
And my Bolton accent's still quite strong, even though when I go home, they say, "Oh, stop talking posh." I say,
Really?
yeah, and I hadn't been in London long, and I was doing this ceremony, and English was her second language,
Okay.
and I said to her, "Oh," I said, "Are you?" But she could, she was quite good at understanding me.
Yeah.
So I said, "Are you able to repeat after me and understand?" And she said, "Yes." So I thought, okay. So we started the ceremony, and everything I said, she repeated it in a Bolton accent.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. And the other registrar that was with me, I won't say your name, her shoulders were just like this through the whole thing.
Oh my
Through
goodness.
the whole
How did you stop laughing?
with great distress. I just thought I've got
Fingernails in your palms.
so yeah, so yes. So going back to the first one, yeah, that's your
Mhm.
worry that people aren't going to understand you, or
Yeah.
you say something wrong, you get their names wrong.
Mhm.
There's will I remember the rings? Have I included their
Oh
vows?
God, it's stressing me out just thinking about it.
And then coming at, being natural, and
Yeah.
for me, it's just about being natural, being
Mhm.
yourself. And yes, you inject a little bit of your own personality.
Yeah, of
It
course.
happens naturally for people in whatever way that personality comes.
Mhm.
So that's fine to do that, but not take over the ceremony. You've got
Yeah.
to really have that balance.
Mhm.
Not be over familiar with the couple, because they
Yeah.
might laugh and joke with you when you see them beforehand, but on the
Right.
day it might be a different thing.
Yeah.
So you've really got to judge each couple separately.
God, there's so much that goes into
A lot of
this.
dynamics to it, isn't
Yeah,
there?
isn't there? It's like psychology 101 as well, isn't it? Bless. Have you ever had like any like weird situations where like, I don't know, you've had to sing them the vows or something like
Oh,
that? Is
I,
any weird requests?
I haven't had any. I haven't had. Well, I join in, so you do get quite a lot of couples who they like to incorporate music a lot, which is
Really?
amazing. Yeah, I
Brilliant.
mean, live music you can't beat that anyway.
Yeah. It
But
gets you
they
in your
like to.
heart, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just brings the whole room together.
Hmm.
And what quite a lot of couples do is they I think to bring the families together as well. I think this is a good thing.
Yeah.
They'll have it where everybody sings.
Oh,
So as the registrars, we always join in.
oh,
Yeah, we always join in. And
yeah.
I did is it what's it called where you do the flash thing where each person has a bit of a song that they have to repeat and it ends up in a video like a flash video thing.
Oh, yeah, I think
Do you
I
know
know
what I
what you mean.
mean?
Yeah.
Can't
Almost
remember its
like
name.
like transitions and stuff.
That's it. I've done
Yeah.
that, which has been great. I mean, and obviously doing I've done a superhero, supervillains wedding where I
Did you have to
dressed up.
dress up as well?
Yeah, I dressed up in a gorgeous gold gown.
Oh my God, I love this.
Fantastic. Honestly, it was amazing.
Oh.
Absolutely.
I
And
bet
then
times
obviously
like that though, I bet it just doesn't feel like a job.
no, no, no. I think honestly, I mean, when you're doing the ceremonies, I mean, to me, it's such an honor. It
Mhm.
really is. It sounds, corny or whatever, but it is. You're bringing two people together, and at the
Oh,
end of it, they're going to be husband and wife. Prior to that, they're just fiancés
yeah,
But you've brought them together as husband and wife, or partner and partner,
yeah.
however. And I just think it's a big deal. It's
Oh,
a big deal.
have you ever like been uncontrollably crying? Like, are you allowed to cry in your job while you're doing it, or do
Well, I
you have to keep it to...
suppose on a professional level, you're not supposed to, but I
Mhm.
have. Oh,
Oh,
of course, I have.
yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes the vows are just so, yeah. Some the vows can be, they can be so intense, honestly.
Oh,
And when they're specifically looking at each other as well,
oh
when
my
they're
God.
doing it, yeah, you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
Honestly, you can't.
Excuse me 1 minute.
That's what I do, literally.
Oh, my eyes are a little dry.
No, but what can you do?
I know,
It's just so
exactly. At the end of the day, you're
emotional.
only human, aren't you?
Yeah. And I think that they love that though. If you
Hmm.
naturally become part of it like that,
Yeah.
and they're all crying as well anyway,
Oh,
they love that. Yeah, they
yeah.
really do.
Bless. So like I think Cynthia, like your first taste of TV, GMTV, and then in 2010, do you say 2010 or do you say 2010? I never know.
I use both.
Okay. We'll go with either. You got chosen to go on a show called The Wedding House on Channel
Yes.
4, but that sounded like super intense. Can you like talk me through like how that worked?
Right. So the concept was I married 46 couples
Okay.
over about 25 days. Um, prior to it all, I'd done their ceremonies. I'd done, I knew how they wanted their ceremonies to be for each couple. This
Okay.
was so well, that was intense to begin
I
with.
bet.
And then yeah, so I married these couples. I'd say 90% of the ceremonies were themed.
Were
So
they?
oh
Oh,
gosh, so you had Alice in Wonderland, which was visually unbelievable.
I bet.
Um, yeah, Alice in Wonderland, you had Cinderella, you had Dirty Dancing, you had 101
Oh.
Dalmatians, you
Hmm.
had Blue Moon,
Yes.
you had Fetish,
Hmm.
you had, it was,
From one extreme to the other.
yeah, you had every Robin Hood. Honestly, they're all coming back.
Oh,
Um, and it was just fantastic because they were just so unique.
yeah.
Each one, beach themed wedding, King and I. Oh my gosh,
Hmm.
so many.
Oh,
Yes, because the themes were just completely their choice and just completely. different, I
Hmm.
could buy into them a little bit. That's what
Yeah.
see. I love that. I love that, Olivia. So I
Yeah.
could, for the beach one, I could wear some flowers,
Yeah.
around my neck and stuff. Even though I was dressed up with flowers all the time for that
Hmm.
show, flowers and jewelry was like a big thing.
Yeah. Like your
Um,
signature branding.
yes, 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 it was.
Hmm.
Um,
Smiles, jewelry, and flowers. That just
exactly.
encapsulates you perfectly, doesn't it?
But yeah, that was just absolutely amazing. And what was good for me is that I did one-to-one interviews with all of them,
Okay.
which was absolutely amazing because to be able to do that and not really have a script as such, there was
Yeah.
obviously certain questions, that the production company would like me to ask, and
Hmm.
but generally speaking, yeah, it was just me. It was just
Oh,
me. And that's what been the beauty for me with all the things that I've done. I'm just myself. I've never
yeah.
had a script as in, right, can you do this? Can you do that? This is,
Hmm.
it's me.
It's what you
So
see is what you get, isn't it?
yeah,
There's no,
yeah,
pretending to be anything else.
exactly, exactly. So,
I love that.
but yeah, the wedding house was just amazing. And Chris and Carol, the other two presenters that I worked with,
Hmm.
were just, oh, we just honestly, we just laughed again.
I
It was
bet.
with tiredness, a lot of tiredness. Because I wasn't used to filming and how long things took to do, and how,
Yeah.
you have to do wides and you have to do,
Yeah.
retakes. I
Different
think,
from angles and stuff.
yeah. So I didn't realize all that happened as well. So for me, it
Hmm.
was wow. It was a big culture shock, but they said that I handled it well, and that was really
And
really
with a
nice.
smile, probably.
Obviously, yeah, of course.
So, Cynthia, when we were talking about, like you said, how special it was to be a part of, obviously one of the most special days in people's lives. I mean, it's not special when obviously somebody dies, but such pivotal moments, should we say, in
Mm.
people's lives. How do you then not take that home with you when it's the negative stuff? Is it like you said about the laughing with your husband and husband to
Yeah.
be? Sorry.
Husband to be, yes, husband to be. He's not there yet. Um, yeah, we laugh a lot, and honestly, we are we're just full of laughter. And he, if I'm down about anything, honestly, I get home and he's just, yeah, he just has me laughing. So
Oh,
for me, it is about laughter, humor, and finding the positive in negative, stuff. Just
yeah.
digging through it and finding the positive gems to help you through. I
Hmm.
mean, I can't say I've never taken work home. I mean, it's ironic that during COVID, my work was based in my home.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I dealt with the deaths at home all day, every day.
Oh
So,
gosh.
and that was you couldn't, you had no escape because it was in
Hmm.
your home. So that
Yeah.
was really, really difficult. And I think, yeah, I would say that I struggled at times with that. It was really,
Hmm.
really hard. So,
Bless.
um, yeah, I think laughter is definitely, yeah,
Key.
laughter, humor, smile, keep smiling,
Yeah.
and finding the positive, in the negative. It's there somewhere. You've got to find it.
Yeah. I think the advice to everyone would be a bit more Cynthia, wouldn't it? I think that's a new phrase. We'll have to start a hashtag. So you touched upon Cynthia, your husband to be.
Yes.
A little birdie tells me that you're not just having a regular run of the mill registry office wedding. What's going to be happening around that?
Right. Well, so yes, so we're getting married next year, next December, and it's
Mhm.
in drum roll. It's in Japan.
Oh my gosh. So why Japan? What made you choose there?
Right. So, I mean, the Japanese culture for me, you can't help. Honestly, how could you not love that culture,
Yeah.
basically? So
Hmm.
I've always liked Japan, but when I met Milo, and I first came to his home, he had kind of maple leaves and cherry blossoms,
Okay.
around the house. He's got some Japanese art on the wall, and I said, "Oh." And he went, oh, I love Japan. He said, I'd live there.
Oh,
And I
wow.
couldn't believe it. So, that was great that I thought, oh, how interesting is that? Because a lot more than me even. He really,
Mhm.
loved it, but I liked it as well. So I thought, oh,
Yeah.
that's a good connection.
Synergy.
Yes. So then we started to think about where and when, and I'll be honest with you, honestly, Michelle, the prices of weddings these days, and I thought, okay, do I really want to do it here? My mum and dad have gone. I'm not going to have my dad walk me
Yeah.
down the aisle, which I know it would be really tough for me because I married my twin and I saw him walking towards me with her.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that would be a big thing. And yeah, I just said one day to him, if you could get married anywhere, where would it be? And he said, well, I'd love, to, if we could be, it'd be Japan. And I said, well, I would love to get married in Japan as well. I said,
Oh
let's
my
do
God.
it.
Yeah.
So we literally just went to Japan with our backpacks, not knowing what we
This
were
story
doing,
is great.
honestly, not knowing what we were doing. We just we knew we wanted Kyoto, and we
Okay.
knew we wanted it in the maple leaf season
Right.
because we chose the cherry blossom season initially, but the window's not big enough for you to be
Okay.
guaranteed it.
Yeah.
Whereas the maple leaf, you have like a couple of months, so
Mhm.
it's not too bad. So we just went to Kyoto, got talking to this lovely girl in reception who helped us find a wedding service.
Yeah.
We went to this wedding service in Kyoto, and we booked the wedding in 4.5 hours via Google Translate.
Wow.
Because bless them, the girls, their English wasn't, they didn't,
Mhm.
have a lot of English, and we didn't have any Japanese apart
Yeah.
from, just the odd words. So yes, we did it all by Google Translate.
That is insane.
It was unbelievable, and then they set us up on to go to the venue.
Mhm.
And the venue was just the venue's out of this world, Michelle.
Oh.
Honestly, I've seen
Pictures, please.
no, well, we're keeping it a secret.
Okay. Pictures after.
Honestly, it's off the chart. I,
Wow.
as you can probably guess, I've seen a lot of venues,
Hmm.
in my career. And yes, I'm biased. I am biased, but this venue is absolutely unbelievable.
Wow.
Honestly, absolutely
I bet you can't
stunning.
wait.
So excited. I'm going to wear a kimono.
Oh.
Yeah, it's going to be, yeah, I'm going to change into a funky dress in my Jimmy Choos later on,
Hmm.
though, when I want to, rave.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Put your nose
yeah,
ring back in.
yeah, put my nose ring back in. But yeah, no, it's gonna be absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing.
I bet it's going to be weird for you though to be at a wedding and not be conducting it.
I know, and I do think about that, and I think, oh my gosh, what if she gets something wrong? I'm gonna
Mhm.
look angry.
Yeah. Just put your TV face on.
Yeah, I just go. "Mhm, mm."
So how is that going to work with the language barrier then? Because I know that you said obviously some of them that you've conducted, English isn't their first language. So
Yeah,
if Japanese isn't yours, how are you going to get around that?
yeah, and that's a really good point, Michelle. With the service that we're with, they
Mhm.
can actually supply us with an English speaking
Oh,
Japanese
okay.
celebrant, which is
Brilliant.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't have, hopefully we won't have any problems
Hmm.
with that.
And
So, but
don't be
yeah,
repeating it back to them in a Japanese accent.
that's going to be in my head now. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, just come on.
Michelle
Do
says.
it properly. Michelle says, do this properly, Cynthia.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no, we can't wait. Honestly, we can't wait. And it's
Oh,
just been
bad.
such a whirlwind, it's
Hmm.
been, yeah, I mean, Milo proposed after 10 months,
Wow.
and it was just really intimate and private. I was just in the
Mhm.
kitchen with my bed hat on, my washing up gloves and my onesie. Oh
Oh,
gosh,
that's
yeah,
love right
I
there.
looked the part, Michelle. I looked the part. And he just came in and put a rose on the side. And I said, "Oh, thanks, babe." And then when I turned around, he was going down on his one knee, and I went, "What the bloody hell are you doing?"
Let me get my marigolds off.
And he just drew the box from behind his back. And I just, yeah, just jumped in his arms and went, oh my gosh. And
Oh,
I thought about my mum and dad. That was one of the first things I thought about. I thought,
oh,
oh, I
wow.
wish you were here to see this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no, it was beautiful. Well, so it's
Oh.
been like a whirlwind, honestly.
Mhm.
And again, as corny as people say it is, you know when you know. You
Yeah,
really do.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you do. You do.
absolutely. Oh, I'm so excited. You best be posting pictures as soon as you're allowed to, once
Of
the venue is no
course.
longer secret.
Of course I will.
Oh, so have you got any like stories, Cynthia, about like what is the most, well, maybe not disastrous because that's harsh on the people that got married, but
Yeah.
have you been in any like uncomfortable situations or ceremonies that you've had to conduct?
I mean, there's two, I suppose, that spring to mind. The first one was a wedding that I did in Lambeth. I mean, you can't judge anyone. I mean, a
Mhm.
20-year-old can fall in love with an 80-year-old, but I do have to say
80.
he was like 86 and she was like 26. So I think that I'm not saying that, that
Mhm.
doesn't happen because, when you fall in love
Yeah,
with who you fall in love with, but that was the age difference.
yeah.
Um, but that's fine, they all came in, I started off doing the ceremony, and then when I asked if anybody believed there was a lawful impediment to the marriage, two women stood up and said yes. And I thought, oh gosh.
And were they from her side or his side?
Well, at this point, I didn't know.
Oh my
So they
God.
just said yes. So I just looked at the registrar who was, the one who completes the
Mhm.
marriage register. And she'd already stopped writing anyway, because you can't start writing until you get past this point anyway.
Right.
Um, so I said, okay, right. So I said, all the guests, please, can you vacate? We'll put you in a side room. We split up the bride and groom, took them away from their witnesses.
Yeah.
So we interviewed the ladies, and they were saying, no, it's bogus. It's so she can stay in the country.
Okay.
She wants his properties. He's got a lot of properties, all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. And I said, I know, but I understand what you're saying about,
Mhm.
you think it's not real or whatever. I said, but
Yeah.
I have to speak because, oh, sorry, forgot to say that these ladies were his daughters.
Right.
Yeah, they were his
Okay.
daughters. So I said, I have to speak to your dad. I said, 'cause it's
Mhm.
about his mental capacity. And if he knows what he's doing,
Of
and
course.
there's no, anything that I said, so anyway, we spoke to him and he was absolutely fine.
Okay.
He knew exactly what he was doing. He was
Mhm.
articulate. He was fine.
Yeah.
So, but you obviously inside, you're thinking, oh my gosh, it was
Yeah.
hard.
What
Um,
were their faces like the bride and groom? What were their faces like when the ladies stood up? Do you think they were expecting it maybe in a way?
they did look shocked.
Hmm.
Yeah, they did look shocked. They did. I mean, the ladies didn't come back in. I
I was
don't
gonna
think.
say, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't come back in. We just did it, did the ceremony, but they did come in to see me a couple of weeks after
Okay.
ceremony and said, she's chucked us out with the kids. Apparently, the daughters were living in one of his properties with their children, and she
Yeah.
threw them out.
Oh,
And they said she's with one of the witnesses. He's a boyfriend. I thought, oh my gosh.
oh my gosh, it's like Jeremy Kyle.
Honestly.
But like
Honestly,
you say though, from your
awful.
position, if there is no evidence of somebody not having the mental capacity or just purely somebody thinks that it's wrong,
Mm.
in your position, if those people agree and are a sound mind to get married, then that's what you have to do, don't
And
you?
that's the thing, yeah. It's we've got to go off the facts. We can't go off emotional reasons.
Yeah.
It's about, if you have facts, then we will look into the facts and we'll deal with it
Mhm.
accordingly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did when they came in, I felt bad. I felt bad.
Hmm.
And then the other one that springs to mind is a couple, getting married. We started the ceremony, everything was great, and then always kind of at the point where they're going to exchange rings, that's when I asked them to turn and face each other.
Right.
So they were facing each other, and I was asking him to repeat vows after me,
Hmm.
but looking at her, and he kept doing this. He was looking everywhere except at her, and she went, "Oh no, 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 I'm not having this." I went, "Sorry." She went, "Oh no, no." She went, "If he can't look at me in the eyes,"
Yeah.
she went, "when he's saying his vows," she went, "Why am I marrying him? We've been together, I think it was 5 years or something."
Hmm.
So I had a long line of ceremonies that day. So I just left them together, said, talk to each other, see if you can work it out. If you can, I'll
Hmm.
marry you at the end of at the end.
Yeah.
And so I just carried on with my day, did the rest of the ceremonies, and then they came back and said, "Yeah, we've talked about it, and we want to get married." It was nerves and everything.
Wow.
So thank
Oh,
goodness it turned out fine.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. You
I
see,
was
I
glad
was all
about
on
it.
her side there, and I was like, yes, you go.
Yeah, I know. When you
Make
forgive
him
me,
look
you
at
think,
you.
you look at me, but yeah, no, it was because I think as well for some guys, it's like, oh, my mates are here, and I've got to do all
Yeah,
this mushy stuff,
the
especially if they're
sloppy.
not,
Hmm.
yes, especially if that's not their character.
Yeah.
Some guys are great and just, it's an automatic thing.
Hmm.
I mean, to see a guy, crying, waiting, it's just there's nothing, honestly, that
Yeah.
intensity, just seeing that,
Yeah. It's like
that's why I
in
told
films,
Milo he
isn't it?
better get his crying ducks ready and make sure they're good to go.
Exactly. But not too bad that you can't read the vows, mind.
Yeah, yeah, we just wipe them, read the
Yeah.
vows, and then, yeah.
Bless. So have you got any more like I know that sounded like it was disastrous ones, but have you got any ones that will always stick with you, like fun or exciting or something different?
Yeah, well, marrying my twin sister, like I said, was obviously for me the most memorable. Yeah, because just to and what was great is the guests didn't know that I was going to be doing the actual ceremony.
Ah, did your
Yeah, they
sister
thought,
know?
yeah, she asked me.
Okay.
I didn't ask her because I thought whatever role she wants me to do, I will do.
Hmm.
So she said, "I want you to be a bridesmaid." She went, "But I want you to marry us as well."
Oh,
So I walked down with my brother as a bridesmaid, and then when I got to the top, I put the flowers down and took my book out of the drawer and turned round,
oh,
and everybody went. So that was
bless.
absolutely amazing. So that's and because my dad, it was my dad was with her. Yeah, it's just so that's my most memorable
Yeah.
and funniest. I mean, there was loads on the wedding house, obviously, but like funny as in my job, outside
Mhm.
of the media stuff would probably be the clown wedding, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so they
Did you have to dress up as a clown as
no,
well?
I
You
didn't.
can
No, I
borrow my
didn't.
shirt.
No, would be ideal actually,
It
Michelle.
would. Stick a red
Um,
nose on you. Mhm.
no, I didn't dress as a clown. I was dressed in my suit, thank you.
Okay.
And but what was funny about it, they were, I mean, completely the big red floppy shoes, the nose, the chalk on the face, the big afro hair,
God.
everything. And then when I asked them to walk toward, come towards me when I was stood in front of them, they went like that.
Oh no.
I went, "Oh my
Even
gosh, I
waddled
can't do
like
this.
clowns.
I can't, can't do this." I said, "Please, can you walk properly, please?"
Goodness. In like 10-foot long shoes.
Honestly, and it was so hilarious. And then, but then I did have to kind of get them to be serious when they were repeating their vows because they were doing it in
Right.
like a clown voice.
Oh my
And I
God.
said,
What does a clown voice sound?
"I don't know, they were just going hi. I don't know."
Oh, oh, that is
Oh my gosh.
fantastic.
No, this is hilarious. But yeah, so I said, "No, please, can you do it?" So yeah, so that was honestly, it still makes me laugh. That was so funny. And
Oh
the
dear.
superhero super villains wedding where I wore a gold gown was
Wow.
just amazing because they had about 120 guests and they all came as either villains or heroes.
Oh, amazing.
It was amazing. The lady, the bride came as Storm from the
Okay.
X-Men, and he
Hmm.
came as Riddler. and
Oh,
they looked
brilliant.
unbelievable,
Can you
honestly.
imagine the wedding pictures from that day?
Oh, honestly, they oh
It's
gosh, it
like
was
Marvel. You think it's just Marvel. Is this a comic I'm reading?
honestly, they were really into it so much. But yeah, they that was amazing,
Special,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Wow. Oh, Cynthia, I could literally talk to you all day. But I think we're coming to the end of the episode now. But what is
Oh.
next for you? What's like the big goal? Have you got anything in mind? Other than obviously your beautiful Japanese wedding.
Yes. Well, and I've just become a nana again.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
thank you. Yeah, so I've got two grandsons, two granddaughters. So that's
Mhm.
amazing.
You
But
don't
for
look old
me,
enough to be a nana.
gosh, I know it's honestly, I don't feel anywhere near it.
Mhm.
I don't, which is great. But I know that I
Your
am.
secret to youngness, to youthful must be joy.
Yeah, I think so. And for, for me, it's what carries me through. It's what's got me through my 60 years plus years so far. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to continue like that. And for me, it's just I want to, doing more media stuff would be amazing.
Yeah.
So maybe who knows what could happen.
Hmm.
Building up some kind of a celebrant thing as well, where I do a lot of more celebrant-led ceremonies. That I'd be
Okay.
interested in that.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be becoming more and more popular.
Hmm.
People are just having quick legal ceremonies and then having big celebrant-led ceremonies. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's
And I think there's a lot of renewal of vows going on. There's a lot of like commitment ceremonies and
yes.
stuff. They're becoming really popular, aren't they?
They are, and people and what it is people can incorporate what they want in it as well, you see.
Hmm.
Because obviously with legal ceremonies, there's certain restrictions, even though it's becoming quite flexible now, but
Yeah.
there are certain things you can't have any religious connotation in a civil ceremony.
Okay.
And I don't know whether some people probably not aware of that.
Hmm.
So it's all those kinds of things,
Yeah.
whereas with a celebrant led, you can do what you want,
Hmm. So
basically.
if I was to say to you, Cynthia, like you want to do more of the medium stuff, the media stuff, if I could wave a magic wand, like where would you picture yourself? Like, would you like your like own
Oh,
show?
my own show,
Yeah.
Michelle. Yes, I think my I'd love to have my own dating show,
Hmm.
wedding show, anything that
Yeah.
around. Oh gosh, no, I'd do a quiz show, Michelle.
Would
Yeah, of
you?
course I would.
Brilliant.
I would do a quiz show. I do honestly,
Hmm.
because it's just great that people can see different sides of me as well.
Yeah.
You know.
I think we need to get some pitches together. We need to get some ideas and we need to get them pitched.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be really good, and just kind of as well, just get helping people to hopefully inspiring people to do other things, and to
Yeah.
know that their person is out there, and
Hmm.
that not to give up. When it's your time, it's your time, and
Yeah.
yeah, promoting that as well would be lovely. I think real
Yeah.
talk, a real talk podcast show,
Yeah,
would be
definitely.
amazing. Milo's doing it with me.
Oh, that would be so cool.
But yeah, I think that's going forward.
Hmm.
Yeah, that'd
Well,
be great.
watch this space, everybody. So
Thank you.
what I'll do, Cynthia, is I'll pop your website in the show notes
Thank
so that
you.
people can hop on and go and have a look. But it has been an absolute pleasure to chat to you.
Oh,
It's been lovely.
likewise.
But thank you so much for coming on. And I hope to see you back on our screens soon on your quiz show or your own show.
Yes, yes, that would be wonderful.
Definitely.
Thanks,
All
Michelle.
right then. Thank
Lovely to meet
you.
you.
You too.